I want to say because of what I'm saying about Heretics taking that risk, this is a very
nah.
for Apex. I think if you're coming
Battle
into
of
split, you've got two fresh maps coming
Battle
in
of what के बोले
that's a perfect
पिटाई होने
opportunity.
वाली है भाई Apex की बहुत गंदी
I
वाली
completely agree with you, especially when, like you said, it's an ascent that Heretics. There were things that were amazing at, you know,
बहुत
the
गंदी पिटाई
sunset
होने वाली है भाई
here and
Apex की
there,
मेरे
so all of the
हिसाब
other
से
maps they could do something with.
ये बच्चा
Yeah,
कौन
me
है
too. I was also
Apex
expecting
में
maybe they would go towards the icebox. Icebox will be map 3. If they're
Though
if
I'm
the
rooting
goal
for
is,
Governor.
like you said, Mini, they want
Governor
to test their
should
things, they
farm.
want to get reps, they want to solidify their game plan. I think it's a little bit risky to do against Apex. I feel
ये
like
बच्चा
the
कौन है
biggest risk you can take is underestimating these group of players. And let's
कौन है
not
भाई ये
forget,
बच्चा
despite their result, Floor was
यार ये आजकल क्या इशू हो रहा है मेरे इसका ना पता नहीं
I like their anti-eco stuff.
Congratulations, you got
I
something
got
right.
one. I got one right.
Okay,
Not
Waylay.
only that, we're also
like seeing Woods on the KO. I think that is comfort for him.
Okay.
We're also mentioning him. I think that
Okay,
the
really?
big breakthrough has to be for them too. We know the Reans is going to have a
Deadlock.
good game boost also on a
Deadlock will
comfort
be
roll.
good.
Benji for the same, but it's them two, is Miniboo and
अब
Woods,
होगा
who we were
कौन है बे?
discussing of, and that we need to see breakthrough today because it's one of the biggest strengths that this team has.
I think specifically about the KO, it's a very good agent against the
Mini
double
Boo
like the deadlock's there trying to
ये
find net
खेलता
traps to like trap into either of the mains. If the KO can just knife the
Double
deadlock out,
Senti
it's a pretty
is
good.
good.
Are you surprised that neither of the teams have gone for the Tickle?
Yes, I think the Teo is very good on this map.
What would you, if you were to put it, for example, in the Heretics composition, what would you
Double
take out?
Senti is really good.
What would I take out?
Do you remove
the
drone?
Sova,
Do you remove
the Sova.
the drone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But the problem is that Rians hasn't played Teo at all, so it looks like they're not going to lean into that kind of idea.
Well, we'll have to see the rest of the maps, right? Because Ascent has been around for such a long time. I think that it is more that
हाँ
first
अगर
impression
Waylay
of
use
kickoff
कर ही
and
रहा है
the maps
कोई
that we had
तो
there
they
that
should
probably
combo
have
it
seen the
with
bigger effect.
Teo
Yeah, and I just want to quickly mention the fact that it's
All
Batu
reach.
playing Cypher.
क्योंकि ये
For me, I think that's the
extremely
last role that
fast
we would have
entry है
expected
ना
him to be shifting it on. Floor, of
तो
course, has played
इधर
Laura plenty
बीच
of
का
times before,
stun है
even
वो
on
बहुत helpful
this
होता
map too. So
जो भी
it
मतलब क्या
does
बोलते हैं
feel like they
ability
must
जो
have some kind
distract
of
कर दे एक बार
priority there.
opponent को कि
And
भाई
Batu
अरे
could
क्या
be
हो
on
रहा
his alpha
है
yellow.
वैसा वाला
I see them as very similar players in a sense that they could do these things. They could frag.
और Teo क्योंकि
and
उसका जो
I'm
basic
excited
missile
to
से
see the
उधर फिर
synergy
वो
here because
आदमी
I'm
खड़ा नहीं
assuming
हो
they
पाएगा
will do the
और
ratty
Ascent में
deadlock
ज़्यादा
cypher stuff
positions नहीं है
together.
जिधर से
Maybe
आदमी
Batu and
defend कर
Mozi playing
सकता
on the
है
same side.
initial
They're starting on
line
the
मतलब
defense as
initial
well. So
choke
there's a
point हो
lot
Yes.
we can
तो
expect
Teo will be
from,
helpful
from this comp.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the head-to-head between Floor and Miniboo. Floor on that Euro, and we know what she can do with the operator, how well and self-sufficient she is. So seeing also Miniboo with that Waylay, I want to see how she deals with the situation.
I can't wait to see it, honestly. I'm just so glad that Mini was right. Mini called it off the bat. Yesterday with Martin, a little bit unlucky, but we have the Waylay on Miniboo. I'm sure at some point we'll see the Waylay on Floor as well, but this Miniboo versus Floor head-to-head is interesting because I firmly believe Floor
I think they
really
will
has what it takes
they
to
can play a
potentially,
bit
you know,
well
to potentially diff
दिक्कत
Miniboo
ये है
here
ना
as
कि ये
well.
बहुत
Yeah, absolutely. They know
late
the
join
team
किया
has
तो
is
it
one
will
of
be
the
tough for
titans
them
of the
to
EMEA, regardless
get
of
maps
what happened
working
in kickoff. What happened in 2024 is
ये
what
select कौन
must
किया है
not be forgotten. And this is the kind of team that will find
किसका map है
what
भाई
they
ये
need to
दिखाओ
bounce
हमको
back.
And I like that Boo is on Omen. You know, we didn't even have time to really talk about the other things they were experimenting because this is comfort Mini. This is maybe what we want to see from Team Heritage.
Yeah, Wood seemed pretty good on Astra in kickoff, but I think that putting the IGL on the smokes is the correct decision in my opinion. I'm a big IGL smokes guy, so I think that makes sense.
You're going after Molsey? That's what you're saying?
Mosey's never really been a smokes player.
Yeah,
so.
but also Avova's on your team, you know, you can't be nicking that off of...
but make no sense. I was
yeah,
just
off of
going after
Avova.
him.
I also want to quickly mention Benji too, because this was a player that Mini was one of, if not the best player in his role, and at kickoff, he struggled a little bit.
Yeah, he didn't have a... I think even himself, he will know that his kickoff wasn't a fantastic one. And I do wonder if part of this Cypher pick is because of his maybe
Oh,
lack of comfort around the
why
back,
is this
maybe
taking
he's
so
gonna
long?
play in
क्या हो
his
गया भाई?
comfort
38
more.
हो गया.
But
Yeah,
yeah, we're
not
going to see
starting
them
it.
step it up, I think, for stage 1.
I can't wait to see it. Very, very exciting. We get to see these teams finally play Ascent and send this over to your casters. Here's Mitch Van and Tom Biz.
Thank you so much, Yinsu. What a game lined up yet again, Tom. Apex stepping down on that stage, Governor in the lineup. There's going to be a lot of questions. When we look at Heretics, I think the expectation can be set plainly. They're coming in as the favorites here today.
Oh yeah, I don't think there's
Extreme
any doubt. I think the
favorites.
one map we saw Apex win
Favorites
last time
mean
around has been banned. So
like 99% sure
almost a
wali
respect
victory.
ban. That's the way I look at it. Because Heretics, I think, were 2-0 on Pearl
See,
and decided
what
to take it out of
Apex
there.
can
so
show
clearly, fearing
कितना
that double duelist setup.
improve हो सकता है उन लोग गवर्नर को लेके. That will be extremely helpful. अगर Apex ये दिखा पाया कि उसके अंदर थोड़ा chance है mid level fight देने का, then I'll be extremely impressed. Heretics को हराना ये कोई भी expect नहीं कर रहा.
Experience over on the initiator. The main excitement though is the agent that
Also they don't have much
unfortunately you
pressure
can't see, but
क्योंकि
that is the
सबको
Waylay.
उसको
The Waylay
सबसे
is in
bottom
play.
team समझ रही है तो किसी को फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा.
Of course, little bit of a bug on that HUD, and we'll work on it as we get through the game. We didn't want to keep the game from you folks at home, though, so we'll dive in anyways. But of course, Miniboo playing the new agent Apex on the defensive side, and there's a challenge already. The paranoia is going to be used up, and we see the refract. This is Waylay's teleport to go back into middle, where he's ready for the fight. Miniboo with the double keeps this in Heretics court. They have lost the spike, but I don't think that space is going to be easy for Apex to hold on to, and indeed they concede it. Heretics walk freely into this A side.
And a light speed being utilized. I'm just excited to get to cast a Waylay, honestly. I think we've seen a lot of difference of opinions, but when Jorgamo tells me that it's better than Jet, I believe it's better than Jet. Benji, well placed, already going to take one, does so much damage, they don't even know. They don't know a second player's there, a 1-2 punch, a little bit of depth
well played
to that little corner, and Heretics going to start things off strong with a pistol.
Yeah, very strong start indeed, and getting to show off Waylay's utility belt like that as well. Of course, the dash that we saw, but that refract just as Miniboo comes out of that teleport, he's ready to fight, and you even notice dodging the net that had been thrown out as well. Purely coincidental timing-wise. The double stack up towards the window as well. Never going to be expected, and whoever called it, Benji's certainly happy that that's what they went with. 1-0 for Heretics, and now they come in with a stacked up buy. They've got a lot to work with, but still, Benji's going to be playing the pistol. There's a Stinger on Woot and a Marshall as well, so a couple lighter investments for Apex.
Well done, man.
Taking advantage of that will be very difficult with the classics.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to be on the table with the deadlock. Obviously, you see the early usage now of that grab thing, because you get it back. It's on a timer. It's now the signature ability. The wall is no longer that first throw. You don't get it for free as well, though, so it's a little bit more expensive. But also the sound cues. Everybody's going to hear those sound cues when somebody's caught. So that's the big thing. That's why you're going to see Mosey immediately throw that at the beginning, similarly to what we see from Teo and the Salvos. Use it immediately, then have it back later in the round. And well, in this round, expectations were basically nothing. Not much invested at all for that defensive side, as they'll save to make sure they can purchase in the next. The Heretics all about keeping it clean.
And realistically as well, it is clean so far for Heretics. They've only lost one player, that was the Ghost. So there's still a margin for error. Apex will look to, presumably, I mean, a lot of the time you're going to play exits. Running back into that site with two pistols, you're not winning those fights 9 times out of 10, but if you can isolate a fight, maybe. Unfortunately, that player has been tanked up, but able to flee to the rest of the squad. They know there's one behind. The question is, will they give the opportunities to Apex to capitalize? For now, oh, there's the info. Both spotted. And then this is the problem. Maybe they would have went that way to exit. Now they know there's two. There's no reason to give them free fights, and Apex pretty much left with no choice but going down to the spike.
It seems like Boo maybe looking to pad the stats a little bit, or has some crazy ideas with the From the Shadows, which I don't believe. Nonetheless, it is just going to be keeping the majority of those weapons, and the remainder going down to the spike.
He got an assist. He threw a smoke in to get his 2 assists off the kills.
Is he like VLR stat padding? Is that what?
He's literally thrown a smoke in to get 2 assists. I mean, that's ridiculous. Look at the scoreboard end of the game. Oh, got three assists in the first 2 rounds, guys. freebies. 2-0, and this is really where the game begins. Apex buy up the rifles. This is where everything is going to come to a head. Team Heretics don't have as much, right? We've said those weaknesses were there. There were some slightly lighter investments. Those are still present. Your Stinger alongside your Marshall. Some opportunities for Apex. Problem is that Heretics on the attack, they're going to group as a clump and approach this one together. The rifle on Benji Fishy after him going down. He's made that little extra investment. Their credits are still very healthy for the next round. So the main thing here is Apex shouldn't really lose this round. And if they do, it cannot be clean for Heretics or the economy will get out of control.
Using the saturate and then diving in towards the position he threw out. I don't know if Gogo was caught,
such a cool lineup.
He definitely
Oh,
got
that's
down.
such a cool
And now
strat,
already the rest of the team are actually
for a
planning on
bonus
going
round,
in the
huh?
other direction, expecting there to have been rotations, but
Okay,
the paranoia
over.
lets them know that
Let's
at
see
least
what
the
he can
Volver
do.
is still here.
It's nasty, man. Waylay solo entering into that site, using the saturate to stun up and slow Governor. And well, he was not ready for that fight right up in his face. I'm not even sure if he was caught possibly switching through utility, so it obviously takes longer to take your weapon back out. Fluorescent picks up one, needs a little more in this position, but the spike is there. It'll entice them back. But Heretics are able to pick it from just around the corner. Batu now, the one with the pressure mounting on him as Cage used. How well that he should be around this backside and look to clear him together. Around the side, Rians gets a wonderful angle, and the plant can now be acquired by Heretics. Spike on the site. Apex might look to get in quickly. Disrupt them while one player is busy planting that, and yes, it'll work out for Fluorescent. The trade quick though. Miniboo, tagged up as he may be, he's keeping this team in it. It hasn't been clean for Apex as we said it needed to be, and the round might not even go their way. It started with Miniboo, and it ends with him too. 3-0 for
Where is he
Heretics.
expecting him to go?
Yeah, I feel like that was a misstep towards the end of that. Just not checking that close corner, especially on a player who I believe Miniboo was very low from this fight. There you go. Yeah, it does catch. So it's so difficult, as you said, swapping back, not even going to have the gun out in time. Almost managed to correct, but that's the power of that ability. I wonder if they even waited.
Such a misplay by Smoker.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, did they have the timing of when it was coming online, and or just somehow it can't be off the sound cue? I mean, I think the saturate was already thrown. Godlike timing.
It's a rough start. A bonus round victory is going to send this defensive side down to very little utility. They're trying to bait the idea. Oh dear. Oh, already using the teleport.
Oh, nice shot.
I don't know how Floor gets away with anything there. Caught by two pieces of utility. And actually, the shock dart's going to do so much damage. They were caught originally by that grab net. That's why they haven't left this corner. And obviously the sounds can't be
let's
heard.
go.
And that's enough to give another kill. Already a huge advantage picked up in terms of personnel, but no weaponry retrieved.
Might also be why, I mean, obviously the spike is down, but Heretics can commit to this A fight just because they don't want those weapons to be retrieved. There's the information, and at least find its way into their hand. They've got a trap for behind them here on A, and a Cam still watching out on middle. Again, they see they've got a free path to the site. The door needs to be closed. Avova won't take a risk. He's going to wait for his teammates to come to him. As a result, Heretics get themselves a plant. Now, I said the trap behind. They're about to walk into it.
They're going for the gun.
Heretics won't be able to deny them those weapons.
Yeah, that's the main thing. It was a full push all the way around. Didn't challenge on those fights because they knew the weaponry would still be in position. And Heretics realized that they've got to try and pick one of these players apart. With that flank coming in, they look to run back through that smoke. Benji is very well placed for this. Is there going to be any utility to bait them out of position? Doesn't seem like it. Instead, it's the peak. But the IGL of Boo is going to take that fight. TP's almost into the open, but doesn't take any damage. And Avova is so desperately low. Eventually, Boo will close out around the... Maybe should have looked a little bit easier, but they got the job done anyway.
Well, I mean, Fluorescent got the opening pick. She was stuck in wine, caught by the KO knife, so she couldn't TP out, and somehow gets away with a kill. Grabnet ends up taking them down with the shock darts, keeping them, they're already kept in position. Shock darts doing damage, finding one shot through the smoke from Avova for another. I love the idea here, by the way. Heretics with two players on site, they realized one's coming behind us. They've drove. All right, they've drone behind us. That means there's probably 2 there. So they use the paranoia on Tree and try to push instead. Oh my goodness, Miniboo will give them no moment of rest. And with the refract, this is why you always have the chance to just bail out if the initial fight doesn't go your way.
Nice
Teammates
shot,
filling in
nice
the
shot
space,
by
but
Avova.
Avova there to punish.
Or the grab net. Actually, I think that was the sensor. It's caused them some issues, but managing to get out without too many problems.
Nice ult.
The convergence path ready. Potential to stun up, but I love
He
that.
doesn't get slowed down.
Grabnet used as a counter. They hear that it's connected, try and spam, but don't manage to get the damage. And now they're going to try and swing back in. However, things are turning all the way back. Over with a quick double though.
Oh, bhai.
It falls apart, left onto
Nice
one man
shot.
standing once again. A second attempt at a triple. Actually, the time is ticking. They need to get someone onto this spike relatively
Nice shot,
soon.
bhai. Avova redeemed himself, huh?
It looks like it. Big round
Nice
from
shot.
Avova, holding strong. I think we saw some good play in the round where they just had a Sheriff, but now that he's got a rifle in his hand, able to deal the damage right back into his opponents. And it is, the refract got them out of the initial engagement. They filled in the space on the back of it, and it looked like sight should be lost, but Avova steps up for one, and again denies this aggression. So I said last round, they used that paranoia. It landed on Avova, and he instantly repositioned, avoiding any sort of a punishment.
Nice
And that
retake,
gave them
huh?
a real chance in the late round. This time,
Oh,
well, he
ult
took
समझ
those
नहीं आया
chances
मेरे
by
को.
the horns, 4-1.
If he
Apex
ulted
really needed that
from
win early on
me,
as well.
wouldn't it
Good
have
thing as
been
well is
better?
with
क्योंकि
The
इतना
4-0
बड़ा area
normally
ले
you'd
पाता हूँ
expect a crazy
पूरा
amount
पीछे
of
तक.
credits after losing a sixth
But वो
round because there
capitalize
was
नहीं
only
कर पाता,
one
उससे बाकी
surviving
team
on the
को जाना
prior.
पड़ता.
This is pretty much everything there is for that Heretic side going into the next. Drone used over top to at least get some info, and actually, oh, Governor immediately going to try and pop that Hunter's Fury and has managed to avoid them like the plague. That is
Proper
unlucky.
whiff, huh?
Especially when they're caught in such a narrow
बहुत
alleyway.
time हो
Yeah,
गया.
they've just about managed to dodge every burst
Understandable.
of
बहुत
that
time हो गया
ultimate.
उसको.
Early aggression from Apex with ults put in, get nothing.
They're playing for the from the shadows. That's what it is. Boo can basically just rotate around the map, and if they find an opener, he can TP back to where his team is. It's something you can't normally do with the spike. There is a little bit of a worry that maybe someone pushes. I'm looking at Fluorescent with deep control in B. Does seem like at least the initial plan was to sell an idea over to that A site. It hasn't worked too well. Still 2 players towards B.
Nibu goes down, no boots on the ground, no response
This is a
from
nice
the side
clip.
of Heretics, and alarm bells are ringing. Apex realize this might not be the commitment.
This is a
and
nice
now they've
clip.
seen players move into market. They know that it's a B hit, but Fluorescent is still ready and waiting. Batu with
Ooh,
another.
nice
That's off
shot,
the
man,
reveal.
nice shot.
Straight through the wall to Benji Fishy, and Governor emerges from the shadows
Oh, nice
to
shot,
close out
nice
the
shot.
round. Apex, they were trailing, and it was looking like Heretics may run away with it, but there's still some fight left in that other side.
2 rounds already, and as I said, that's now the economy reset. The one thing that is going to be available, or at least coming online, is Heretics ults. Other than obviously what we saw earlier with the Waylay ult,
बहुत
the
सही
convergence
trip था
path
भाई.
has already been utilized, but
काफी सही
everything
trip
else
था
is either
इस round
online
पे.
or 1 away. That is a nice clean round though from Apex. This will keep their economy in a decent spot. Operator's still going to be in hand. By the looks of it, going to invest a little bit more than expected. In fact, Miniboo and Riens are going to come in with rifles. The same for Wu. It's definitely not the prettiest of vibes, but always potential with this squad.
Nice default now.
They have to worry about wine
So he
positioning,
TP'd. It looks like he crossed over there.
composure to this defensive
They have
side,
no
mainly
info.
due to that push-up that they've got. Fluorescent
But yeah, op is
deep
good.
into the
Oh,
spawn,
bhai,
but
nice
it's a jump
jumpy.
peek.
Nice
They
jumpy.
expected it. At least they were worried about it, and for good reason. Early pick denied, and a drone sent out again to push Fluorescent off the angle. Great respect being given to that operator, to that player in general. And Team Heretics, well, they're not going to continue their push in that avenue. Again, they've been quite keen to grab a bit of map control like we're seeing here for Benji Fishy, and then send it in the other direction.
I'm liking these combos. I feel like Mosey has just been irritating with his utility so far, and potential to throw a little bit more in. They have managed to get to the site though, and this puts quite a bit of pressure onto Avova. Maybe not, just swings into the smoke, and now the rest of the team look to arrive. A single kill is all they've managed to garner on the Heretic side. 20 seconds, Woot.
I think so. They should get
Well,
at
he has the
least
spike,
6
but that
for a
won't last
chance.
long at all.
क्योंकि डबल सेंटी
See
कॉम्प
who's
है,
spinning
at
around
least
there,
6
just looking
on
for anyone.
defense should be
The
required.
third round now for Apex, just one
मतलब
behind, and
minimum
the defensive side
6.
really starting to shape up nicely.
On a good
You talked
side,
about a
7 to 8
4-0
is
lead for
required.
Heretics and how you'd expect often to see the economy stacked on that side. Well, after 3 in a row, Apex are looking pretty healthy. That operator's been causing issues, and despite Heretics avoiding a lot of those early dangers, they're still running right into the trap that Apex have set in the late
Fluorescent is really good with
round.
op, na?
Pause called out by the
मतलब
side of
बहुत
Heretics after a
बहुत
strong
clean और
start.
fast
They need
shots
a
है.
moment with their coaching staff.
Yeah, I think the main worry will just be how clean those rounds have been. They haven't really made much of a mark. I think that a lot of the early fights that they've taken had potential. I think that Miniboo has already proven that the Waylay has value.
They need to
just with that
default
ability
over,
to dash into such
क्या बोलते हैं?
aggressive angles,
Beam
but then
in.
also you can just get straight out of there with the refract. Like that's the main
बीमेन के अंदर तो अब तो वो भी लग
of
गया
this
ना, क्या बोलते
agent. The problem though
हैं,
is
वॉल
well,
कवर,
firstly getting
तो
into that
स्पैम भी
A-side
नहीं हो
buff
सकता,
because
तो एक बार इन
Evova's
लोग
been
बीमेन ले ले तो
fantastic. Like, this
काफी
has always
टफ
been the
है
thing with Evova's,
उन लोग को
like,
वापस
I feel like when
रीक्रिएट
he's in
करना.
form, he's one of those players who is a bit like a sentinel in the fact that he's just unkillable. Like he's always in the right position. He's very good at giving up ground when it seems impossible. But then also, if there's a spot on the map that the team needs to hold for a retake, he's gonna stay and hold that spot. Like he was completely stuck on his own underneath the balcony in the last round. I believe he survived the whole round. So that's an Evova special. I don't think we've seen it as much in recent times, but if he can get back to
Wait, what
what
are
was
these
peak
tips, huh?
Evova, which definitely feels like a while ago, this team now becomes a lot more dangerous than what we were expecting coming in.
There's always a special place in my heart for an Evova Omen.
Ninja Diffuse. You had the word Ninja Diffuse.
Oh.
There's been about 15 of them.
It really does just have a different identity. Every game he plays on it. And indeed, here, there's been good decision making. There's been big individual performances. Fluorescent not going to find the opening pick, but Benji's down to 5 HP. Might be a little consolation as the push comes in towards this A site. Lots of players from Apex here and ready to go. Malzy's got his utilities ultimate online as well, with 3 players on the site outside of him. This is not going to be an easy push. The smoke buys Evova.
No.
They haven't seen it, but eventually he will be spotted and taken down. They know the spike is here though. Everybody's on their way from Apex to reinforce this A site, but that's a lot of targets for Rienz, and he will pick up one. A 4v3 and a plan secured for Heretics.
I don't know how Benji's alive. They used a neural theft, and he was under the balk on 5 HP, and somehow has managed to dance his way out of there. Evening things back up, and there we go. It was bound to happen eventually. Turning things back into an even spot. Annihilation thrown through, which will grasp another. Malzy has been fantastic, catches them, but they always seem tough to clear out Boo. Eventually the job is done. The ult will close out the round. Malzy from the grave. A Governor is going to bring things level.
Governor's looking pretty good with that Odin as well. I gotta say, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Should have listened to Frost. 4-4. They're tied up, and Apex, well, they've got a couple of heroes. Evova's had some good decision making and big individual rounds. Governor's showing up. Fluorescent has just been a nightmare in those early fights. Always applying the pressure. Still though, despite Benji going down to 5, he ends up being the one dealing with Evova. He ends up surviving down below and buying that little bit of extra time. It's impressive, but it's not enough. Beautiful. Neck and neck.
Waterfall. Expectation has been there for a while that the defense is where you expect them to thrive. Well, Miniboo, it doesn't matter if you can rewind time. You have to be alive to do it. And unfortunately, the last few rounds, that has been anything but the case. These very direct rounds just seem to really play into Fluorescent's hands. If you're going to try and run into angles with maybe a single flash, she will avoid it, and she will take you down.
They've seen that Fluorescent was pushing aggressively in B main and just hoped that they could catch them while they're setting up for that control, but clearly not the case. With a different stance from Apex, they're ready to receive the blows from Heretics and deal back that little bit more. Now, the attacking side, 3 pistols left alongside Rienz's rifle, seem to be looking for a bit of space towards the A site. They've left a lurk outside of B, and the whole round, Benji's been looking for opportunities on A main. Ultimately, Apex aren't giving any. A very passive hold, and now with the wall going in from Deadlock,
nice shot.
keeping B main control, it's very difficult for Heretics to find any space that isn't locked down by that defensive side.
Oh, they are just running one by one into Fluorescence Operator. Finally, they'll take her down, but it seems too little too late, although it does get a little bit more interesting. If they can clear Batu, maybe they have a chance, but he's been sitting pretty at the back. I believe that was a dink through the wall. In fact, the shots are doing a lot of damage, but a reveal to help. Ballsy there to make sure it doesn't get out of control. After a 4-0 deficit, Apex, they have the lead.
Yeah, even got their op back as well, so economy going to be bolstered even further without that big investment. They're looking good, not just 5 rounds in a row, but big economy control, opening picks looking good, and Heretics maybe running out of answers. We've already seen them call one timeout. Things have not improved since then, but that last round was a lighter investment. They had the rifle on re-ends, but pistols backing it up. That's why they went for the more direct approach on B main, overwhelmed with numbers. But Apex, again, they were not falling for that. They weren't stepping into the trap. Now, though, rifles come out.
Yeah, I think the worry as well is, I think now Miniboo hasn't had a kill for quite a few rounds. Those openers have been going completely against him. Again, they go for this direct approach, though. The rest of the map has been cleared by Fluorescent, but already the rotations that come in, they have been slaughtered. A quick double opener for the side of Heretics, and maybe they're hoping for a little bit of Fluorescent magic to get them back into the round. I'm also just looking at the position of Benji Fishy.
In the spawn. It's not the usual spot you'll see being held.
Die.
I mean, I suppose it has the potential to really catch you off guard and leave you scratching your head. Apex have split up as well. Well, never mind catching you off guard. I think they know that Benji's pretty close at this point. It's whether Apex are going to go for this. I mean, they've got credits and even a vote.
They don't have
close
time
to max, but the fact that they're split into different avenues, they're not being given picks. They've now lost Fluorescent as well, and time is ticking. This is turning into just exits. They're going to try to wall them in. They're going to try to keep them inside of main and make them go down to the spike.
That's gorgeous.
Really well played.
But we'll take your economy.
That's got to be so infuriating. Just forcing them to try and run through the tiny gap that they broke, and if they do, they actually end up dying to mercy, which you don't want to feed the annihilation. So that's really rough at the end, but the double opener was fantastic. Like, this was the thing, the swing from Batu and the timing. If it was off by a millisecond. But yeah, this was the thing. It was a combination of the grab net as well, and there really wasn't any space for them to run away.
They should win the last 2 rounds, at least.
After winning 5 rounds in a row, losing 1 to what was basically just a very fast double opener from the players that ran towards the B site.
Well,
that's enough for them.
It's a defense-sided comp.
Maybe noticing a couple of players being a bit over-aggressive, because you do have to bear in mind they are on the defense. If this comes 6-6 or even 7-5 in Heretics' favor, even though there was a streak of rounds, they are not going to care.
I think you especially have to be aware of the fact that in those first couple big rounds, it was Heretics finding quick opening kills. It was being Apex being caught off guard by the Waylay utility and how quickly they could close in that distance. And I think now you look at the previous round, same sort of early sign, getting blitzed, losing it in a flash. And so it's a good idea to take a step back and make sure in the next 2 rounds, that's not going to be the case. They had 5 in a row on that defensive side. Still room for this to be a decent lead moving into the next half, but well, I'm quietly optimistic that we'll see something nasty coming out of Heretics in these next 2 rounds. Rifles up, and the squad mostly around this choke point. We could see a very direct hit from Miniboo.
Oh, they're going to try and do another combo. That was an attempt with the grab net. I don't believe it connected, but it doesn't matter. Governor's got the opener and connected onto Miniboo. That's a lot of early damage. We mentioned those picks at the beginning of rounds, seemingly incredibly important for either of these sides. I don't think we've seen many rounds turn back on their head from that opening point. And once again, they're just running into a trap every single time. Even still, though, there has been a catch onto a Vova. That's been a rarity.
Really well, really
Pressure
well
might be
done.
on for Batu to find him.
Never mind!
Fluorescence there with the op. The collat puts them well ahead at 2v3 for Heretics with the plant coming in. And Apex all together walking out of heaven. Abu couldn't even come out to trade. He was caught by the grav net.
Boo is made
they
for
go
this,
for the defuse, it's a
Boo is made
high-low
for this.
setup. Governor down below and Batu up top. Clean stuff from Apex. And the advantage is now theirs.
This feels like another one of those games where people will go to the end of the game looking at as like a scoreboard warrior and go like, why is Malsey even on this team? He has got someone with a crab net. I don't even want to say once a round. I think every single round is a multi-catch with that recurring utility. And every single time it's been an irritation, be it wiping half the squad. Like he's 5-9 and 5. You go, no, he's not really playing that well, is he? He's been fantastic. And I do think a lot of it has just been general irritation. Like, oh, I want to swing with my I'm stuck. Oh, I want to get out of this, I'm stuck. It's just frustration. And while that'll be Apex now taking the lead after that slow start. Rians will have the
They need to win this last round too.
for the convergence path as well.
नहीं जीत पाए तो फिर मुश्किल ही होगा इन लोग को.
The guns.
I think the main thing is that disruption that Malsey's been bringing, but now the ultimate is online for final round. Someone from Heretics is probably getting put into a cocoon. We shall see.
Bro, these are such nice trip, nah? This trip is so nice.
Not here with the operator for the early pick.
Find out.
Governor very much ready to go.
Okay, incredible.
Ooh, diving in at light speed. It's an easy opener, and a saturate catches one.
Incredible,
oh,
incredible.
on a tear, but he's stopped by Batu. Finally put to bed, and with the ult
Okay, incredible counter.
Well, those picks coming right back into play alongside weaponry advantage. But this could have looked a whole lot worse for Apex.
That's the problem. No one else was able to follow Miniboom where he went, and because of that, the guns have not been retrieved. Malsey, that's such a lot of damage off the shot dart. I think it might have even caught Batu as well. The net catches one. Removing Rians from action is going to create an even bigger problem playing these close angles. They know exactly where both of them
nice
are.
shot.
Benji, however, has done well. Even still, though, the guns have not been retrieved, and Benji is the last player standing. Looking to do it all.
Well played. Okay, 7-5 is really good.
He is a man known for his style.
Oh, this is the map pick of Heretics.
It's his own smoke that gets him both those kills. Off the reveal, he can spam through for one, and well, the jumping shorty is a little bit of a different flavor. 7-5 after a strong start from Heretics. They put 4-0 up, but struggled to get off that starting block. We'll see how the second half goes after the break.
You can see how good Deadlock is. Deadlock is really good now. Really good भाई. कितना काम का चीज़ है भाई. You can note down कहाँ player है. Like initiator is helpful है बहुत. You are getting a sentinel initiator. उसका जो gravitate is so good. Gravitate is too good भाई, too good. PC चला के आता हूँ. This game is going good. It's going. I'm rooting for Apex also. Like I want Heretics to come back, but I'm rooting for Apex. Just because of Governor.
Avova early on was coming out hot to the touch. Fluorescent with early picks on that operator, and now moving to the attack side. I can't wait to see it. And then Governor, well, he's certainly impressed here on the EMEA stage, but plenty more work to be done. This is, after all, Heretics map pick, and that means Apex chose to start in the defense. They found their 7 rounds. Now it's time to put their attack to the test.
Yeah, that will always be the more interesting thing. I think there's still a lot you can do with the deadlock, with
they need to
still aggression,
from what
denial,
I think.
And especially when your opponent is running a waylay, which can basically get up in your face for free. I think the potential there is massive. Speaking of that, already this is going to be a brawl, and well, that's not gone great for the side of Heretics.
Okay, nice trade by Governor. Bhai, nice trade. Really nice trade.
Spike moving in the other direction. should be an easy 3 hit coming out from Apex. Batu down to 13 health. Stray bullet could take him down, but it will be Benji Fishy who has to deliver those shots. Has the cam still, has himself a safe trap as well, so they can't get close without him knowing about it.
Here. That
could be the difference.
A Benji Cypher setup. If he doesn't get 2, I'm disappointed. Like that's how good my expectation of this guy is.
Okay, एक तो मिल रहा है.
So he's only looking at
High
the right.
insane shot.
He's got 2. Let's see if he can find that third. Avova knows where the other player is now. He's seen the paranoia come through and realizes there could be some more utility waiting for me. A trap around any corner. So it's time to move to the A site. It looks like Heretics will stay safe on that B. So the plant should be acquired by Apex, by Avova. He's had a pretty damn strong start to the previous half.
And he loves the A site as well.
2v1
So
really
that's
tough.
the thing. This now shifts. You're walking into Benji's setup. I'm all for Benji. You put Avova in a clutch. I'm not going to be the man to doubt him. The thing is, though, I think he expects them to be a little bit closer than they actually are. This is a slower rotation. Definitely wary on that Heretic side, but it's Avova. He could be anywhere. He could have pushed forward. We've got to clear everything methodically, take our time to clear these back angles, and in the meantime,
Yeah, they are
he's
playing
just
really
sitting on
well.
the
देख रहा है
sidelines.
कैसे वो लोग
Still have Cam as
कैसे
well. It's a
कूद
big
के आ रहा
Benji
है.
getting that back
अरे
online. That's a beautiful angle from Avova. He'll pick up one, almost a second. Halfway on the defuse though. He'll go in.
Oh, high well
and
played.
it's Avova with the
Well played.
Red Bull clutch. You hit the nail on the head there, Tom. The shoe is on the other foot.
Sometimes you get lucky. No, it is. This is the thing. Like even the one-way smoke he uses, that's a one-way smoke for main. So that you can even see that immediately they walk into the site, they see that smoke. Boo goes, okay, he's main. I'm gonna put my smoke down, and gets killed because of it. Like that's just Avova playing my game. Look, he's literally has a smoke in hand, ready. Because like, well, I can't get killed from here. He is in main. Like this is just. He's such an intelligent player in the way he gets into clutches. Amar Governor is learning the Avova way to play the game. It's like you put him in those moments. I'll also say, I love you, Benji, but you're trying to ninja defuse versus Avova. Like it might be the last player on the planet that I would attempt to do that against,
guy,
because
pal.
he is the guy that does that to you.
I love that. Governor, first time at an Avova clutch. We've been here before.
Last update
Oh, but that's a beautiful
1739.
reaction. Pausa Technica down on the stage. League officials investigating. Hopefully we'll have the game back underway any moment now. But coming off the back of that pistol, Apex got to be in high spirits. The fact that, again, you know, like I said, first half, Avova showed up in the early rounds. Not that he quieted down too much. My guy's 13-5 at the moment. He was barely seen by the enemy team, except when he was putting them down.
Resuming shortly.
The
ठीक है, कोई
reason
छोटा मोटा
he
ही दिक्कत
slowed
था.
down was because there was maybe 2 or 3 rounds in a row where people just ran into floors up. So it's like, oh, sorry guys, I'm not killing them on A because they're all dead on B. And if they got past Fluorescent, they were in Batu's setup, which was very similar in a lot of rounds. It's like, I'm in the back of the site, come get me. I have Turkish
If they
A,
don't
good luck.
get eco now, this is really doable.
Or close to.
Yeah.
This is really doable
When they
now.
went A, he didn't die.
He was showing up. A big clutch from him. And again, you know, I think today is a day of favorites. It's a day where Heretics and Foot, if you ask the majority of fans out there, it's expected to be a 2-0. Expected, maybe not blowout,
Oh.
it's a big competition, but Apex already showing up more than most people might expect. On Heretics map pick as well. And that pistol could be so valuable. We know when the rifles come out, it's going to be a different face to Heretics, but this is a real chance for that attacking side to be leading 9-5 before that happens.
Lucky Apex ना.
Well, it's a
कोई
much
भी
closer
side
game
नहीं
than
था.
anyone thought
कोई
coming
भी
into
इधर
today.
नहीं था.
Oh, for sure. Like, I think even taking a map would have been optimistic. Like, especially when you maybe ignoring kickoff, although like Heretics still managed to get like 1 game away. But it's more so, okay, who were they last year? Okay, Champions finalists, Masters finalists while playing with a
Timing.
So this is a squad that has been so ridiculously close to greatness. This round though, well, it's a ruse. It's a pretty hefty ruse. They've thrown quite a lot in
अरे
it, and I'll be
भाई ये
honest,
TP क्यों नहीं लगाया? They both were with gun.
Yeah.
Both.
Oh, no, both players had a
Guardian.
gun. That's a weird ruse.
Yeah, I'm
Nah,
gonna be left
this
scratching
is
my head.
so-
Maybe we can commission
so
Mini on the desk to
bad
do
played.
a little telestrator on the deeper
Gee.
thought behind that. But we can see the result.
Or he'll do
Heretics.
his classic hand motion.
Yes. Well, Heretics have now got 2
Why
rifles,
not
and even with
give
Benji going down,
him-
it's immediately picked up by the next man on the block. The chopping block, by the looks of things, is Apex. Pick up every kill from that point forward. A quick trade back from Wu, but that is all there is
Why
to report home
not
about.
give the
There were some big
ghost to
dangers there.
Sova and
Ardently,
have a
Heretics to
TP
the
ready
teeth is a
for
bold
Yoru?
move, but, well, they managed to find the round nonetheless.
I think they still lost 1 rifle, so it's more costly than they would have liked. But yeah, they basically end up just sending a couple of players.
अच्छा उसका
I
TP
think
expire
the
हो गया
plan
जहाँ तक.
is for Fluorescent to immediately gate crash if they run into something like that, and then they only lose 1 gun, but that didn't happen.
I saw
so.
Fluorescent trying to put a gate crash down while on the site, though, so it either wasn't there or was destroyed, ran out of time. It's quite quick, though. I don't know. It looked like a messy one. That's probably going to come up in the VOD review, but especially against an eco. That's in a normal round, we could see that, but the lower buy. Heretics had a chance put to bed, and now the rifles come out from the get-go on that defensive side. Apex saving their money for the next round. That's the first thing. Expectation isn't that they win here. They're still coming in with 2 Guardians and a Vandal. Not to discredit Batu or Governor with a Sheriff. There's a lot of opportunities.
Nice shot.
The way a lot of these rounds have gone, very close clutch moments, and Apex have been fantastic in a lot of them. Now at least
Take flight.
both teams a bit more tentative, patient in their manner. I'm pretty sure the top of
टोपी
the
दिख गई
hat
भाई तुम्हारी.
was spotted, so I don't think Rians is going to be moving anywhere anytime soon. And the control in middle is much deeper. Like, they've actually put the trip on the door into mid, so they can get maybe a bit further than expected. Nonetheless, it's going to be the reverse. Straight back to A.
30 seconds left.
Fragments caused issues. Paranoia is connected, but Fluorescence jumping into empty space. Fluorescence in heaven already. Fluorescence running around on the site, but has been flanked out. Minibu gets here just in time.
Nice shot, nice shot.
To find a little bit more. The refract used just to bail out. 12 seconds or so. The plant needs to go down, and it will. Committed to by Governor. Post-plant utility. Malzi's 1 away from an ultimate. 1 kill for Malzi, and this round could flip on its head. For now, Heretics seem to hold the advantage. You can even see utilities being put down with the sound sensor. It ends up catching Governor, but he's safe down below. 4 now. There's the
nice
kill.
shot.
There's the ult, and it's bounced off the wall perfectly. Only 1 player left, and Benji's being dealt with.
भाई insanely well played by Malzi
Malzi
भाई.
earlier on. That ought to shut you up. 10-5, double the rounds of Heretics. Apex on their opponent's map pick. They've come to play.
Insanely well played by Malzi
Even when he
भाई.
was,
What?
5 and
What is
7,
even
5 and
happening?
9, it was still a great performance, but now adding the kills in to the mix, and that's the thing, I feel like on the attack, you can have a lot more of those setups. Like, okay, I want to clear this angle with this piece of utility, I want to force this person to fight me here, but this was just a late round clutch that basically, well, Governor was an additional observer in that clutch. He just kind of these are the guys I've joined. Sorry, I didn't know your game.
That's actually why Malzi put the sound sensor there to stun him so he could get the kills. Like,
exactly.
People are going to say I'm underperforming. Watch this.
Watch me.
Yeah, watch me, bro. Get the drone out. Do a little third person.
10-5 though. They are now firmly in that driver's seat. After being 4-0 down, Heretics have won just a singular round since.
This
Not like they've
should
been
chill
without
down a bit.
opportunities. That was a 3v2 clutch where the round started with them having
क्योंकि वो हेरेटिक्स है भाई, वो अभी भी कम बैक कर सकता है अगर ये इको हारेगा ना लोग.
Plenty of cash in the bank. In fact, even the ult economy after using one is still further in their favor than the other way around. Can Heretics pull something
Okay, they
up
are
there?
crunching
It's going to be
mid.
an aggressive push into mid. But you can see that the way Apex are playing, they're just grouping up, wanting to make sure that if anybody does catch them, it's likely to only be a trade.
I think they can stack B. Nice by nice timing.
I don't think I've seen a trap there.
Nice
ever,
timing.
really.
Yeah, they are
Sam
stacking.
as well, backing him up. So much control
Doable है.
for Apex in the late round. But the problem is, yeah, it's not the back they need to be worried about. They're running straight into the pistols. And Team
Nice
Heretics
shot.
are ready to fight. Already claiming 3 kills. It might be going back and forth, but Governor's left on 6, and there's still a fight
Oh,
inside.
this was so
The
close.
shots missed from
ठीक है,
Blue.
इसको
That
gun
could
मिल
be
जाएगा.
a missed opportunity. One that Heretics would do well to claim at this point. It has to be Woot to make it happen. And information. Both on the side. Look how quickly Governor's repositioning after being caught towards the back of the site. Now he looks to catch him off guard, and well, the timing will be everything. Woot has an idea, had an idea. The pistol's out. He's cleared it. One shot needed, and he'll find it. Now down to just above right in a clutch scenario, but it's Woot. The rifle, but no idea where his opponent has gotten off to. There's the spot from Avova. He knows exactly where Woot is, and his 4th kill of the round. What a game this has been. From Apex on Ascent, from Avova as well. He is 19. The guy's died 6 times so far. How has he only died 1 time since we brought this up before?
I'll say as well, I need to see if there's any correlation for who gets to have like a chill hangout with Yinsu in the early parts of the day and how well they play in game. I wonder if it was just like he was so zen coming into the match. I don't know. And I think we need to test that. Maybe people will start investing money into getting to hang out with Sue for the start of the show. I won't, but
could be.
Maybe
You're not gonna.
No.
Our cast gone down the drain. Just like that, playing your hand against us. A timeout here from Team Heretics. 6 rounds behind on their map pick. And yeah, maybe Apex are the GOATs. It's certainly looking like it right now. Ilzinho and Weber dishing out the strategies, the solutions from this point. Even a well thought out game plan is going to be difficult to reliably put up rounds. Apex just need 2. And with the rounds they've had so far, that does not seem very unlikely.
Well, that's the thing, coming back into stage 1. See, both teams have had a long time to prep and sort of change up what they've been running.
Opposite mount.
A late-ish addition.
यार इन लोग अभी तक वेले का आइकन ठीक नहीं कर पाए.
I imagine they've been shifting a lot of their roles for a while. Batu prepared for that Sentinel call-up, but that's the thing. Even though this is the map choice of Heretics, it's hard to tell if they will have had that same amount of work put into Split, where that sits within the strength of their map pool, and the same for their opponent, whether they got it right. The series won't be done at a single map loss, but it will be a statement. Because I think coming into today, I could admit myself,
they have cleared mid.
2-0-2-0. I didn't expect Apex to have a map.
Well, if this is going to be the flavor of the day, then Koi fans are in good hands, by the looks of things. Apex certainly are. Into this round.
नहीं, chill. Casters are hyping it too much.
For that attack side, and Governor's been firing out those Hunters Furies, not with the greatest amount of success. Saw that complete dodge by Heretics around middle in the first half, but here on the attack, even if he's not getting hits, getting kills, it's clearing angles for the push. And if someone like Fluorescent has less angles to clear, well, you're in a lot of trouble. For now, though, a Deadlock utility all serves as a fake. They took presence, they fired out their util, and that has gotten a pretty significant rotation.
They aren't even
mid-hold, and the movement from Rian's towards the right side of the map, but Heretics quickly realize this is a ruse.
Wow, and it's not going to matter. I don't think they realized how far forward Badu had already got. That's Miniboo just swinging into an angle, unprepared. They walk back into the Benji Fishy setup once again. 13 seconds, and he needs to try and hold the line as long as possible. Spike being planted, will swing into Mosey and meets the same demise as his teammates. Woot can't find anything, while Boot, it comes down to a point of just holding on to the guns. A relatively clean take of that B site right at the depths. Oh wow. Seems like Apex, at least at this stage of the map, have got it in the bag. As said, since they got their first round on the board, there's only been 1 round on the board for Heretics.
The 4-0 start for Team Heretics. Like, it really felt like they had full control. The Waylay was catching Apex off guard in the same way as
7 rounds.
Department. I think that for
Let's see kitna close
to slow down like that,
actually they don't have money.
It's very unusual to see, and I think you can only sing the praises of Apex for being able to deliver these death blows every round. Even here, like we say, the read was there from Heretics. They realized, oh, this was all a ruse. They shifted back to their old setup, but the small gap that they left had been filled in, and Batu was waiting. 12-5, 7 chances for Apex to claim Heretics map pick, and what a start to the season this would be.
Oh, yeah, and then you look at the purchases coming up for Heretics to try and defend this one. They need to win 7 rounds in a row, and it's starting off while only having 2 primary rifles in hand. An aggressive push is going to be immediately taken, an attempt to try and use that waylay on, but the reveal's fantastic.
Really well.
That setup
Really,
couldn't have gone much
really
better,
well
and to be
played.
honest, the
क्या
player they've
strat
taken
है.
out has been the bane of their lives. Getting rid of Molsey with how much setup he's had for that squad, that's not bad.
It's not a bad opening pick at all.
They don't have smokes.
Apex have a little bit more.
भाई,
Dig deep. Players like Avova, hard to kill all game long. B-side under threat this time around. It'll be Avova lurking out on A, and the spike isn't committed just yet. You know, Apex haven't been hyper direct. Even if we do see that ult from Fluorescent, it could serve as just a piece of information, a drone almost. Avova looks to find that space on this side of the map, but now they have an idea that he's here, that the surprise won't be there. See if that affects the outcome.
Nice reclear.
This one very slow indeed. 40 seconds left on the clock. Not only taking space, but this will give a lot of information if they were to run on those rotations, but instead Heretics are walking their way through, holding that ground as Batu looks to try and make that pressure into mid. A kill onto Miniboot could be everything. Sfor is going to be able to almost completely clear the site. Timing on that swing though, and in fact they swing it together. It looks all but done. It's only going to be Boo standing. Other side of the map.
4 seconds.
Spike
Okay,
will
plant तो हो
eventually
गया.
go down, and well, it's up to the IGL of Heretics to try and bring them out of what seems like an impossible scenario.
It seemed like Apex were fighting against the odds, but now it's Boo who finds himself in that position. Creeping his way through heaven, well, quite loudly breaking the trap, and the players he's fighting, their phantoms, they're disappearing. And now his vision's gone, and look who's right back in. It's Fluorescent with the 3K to close this one out. 13-5 from 4-0
Nobody
down.
predicted this.
This was utter
Nobody
domination
predicted
from
this.
Apex.
Well, I think most of us will have come into today expecting a Heretics 2-0. The fact is that script is out the window. We'll be back after the break to break this one down.
Apex is looking good, भाई. मतलब अगर ये हारी ना अभी भी, तो भी I am extremely impressed that they have a map that they play well. Though I don't like the comp of Heretics. Where is Sniggy? Sniggy, let's go.
Good, I would say, is also an argument. They're vibing? I mean, yeah, dudes. They won 13, basically 13 rounds in a row with one in the middle. Okay, stage 1, map 1. It's the waylay. I mean, they had some nice stuff around the waylay. But yeah, I do think that the standard comp is kind of. I'm not saying it's dead. It's always going to be okay, but I just think there's better comps these days. I think when you have, in my opinion, you have 4 busted agents.
Fnatic कब खेल रहा
4
भाई?
busted agents at the moment, and I think that the default comp on Ascent has 0 of them. Gwindor with the tier 1. Think of the 3 months. I also think Apex played insanely well though. They did a lot of good stuff.
Foot versus Core. अच्छा वो Fnatic कल खेलेगा.
Volume, it's okay. We'll just accept that the VOD's dead. Don't worry. One day we'll try and do it. Okay, chat. I'll be back in a little bit, right?
Quality where you Florent is transgender and part of famous. Right over there, payment. What was क्या था भाई? स्कोर दिखाओ हमको. 5 first kill, 5 first death. Not worth it, bhai, not worth it. Oh, Governor got four first kill. Oh, Governor played well, huh? Avova played really well, like in by 19-6. Damn, 19-6. 16 plus 13. I shouldn't have criticized him. My bad, I didn't know your game was so good, huh? Split. स्प्लिट पे भाई हेरेटिक्स तो यूजुअली काफ़ी अच्छी रही है होपफुली वेले वेले ना लेके आए नॉर्मल कॉम खेले अपना एंड आई थिंक दे विल इजीली डोमिनेट एपेक्स आइसबॉक्स आइसबॉक्स कैसा था भाई इसका हेरेटिक्स का आइसबॉक्स डिसेंट था इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग आई डोंट थिंक सो एपेक्स विल बी एबल टू डिफीट हेरेटिक्स ऑन स्प्लिट आइसबॉक्स को फिर भी चांस है if they play really well. Let's see.
How did it happen? Honestly, I said this during kickoff too, though. I was like, Team Heretics, hello? What happened? What's going on? And it's the same going into this. Apex, I'm like, what happened? Not Team Heretics, Apex, what happened? Because that was a crazy performance from Apex.
I'm a bit stunned.
You're a bit stunned?
I'm a bit stunned. I'm a bit shocked.
At what point did you believe that this was going to go to Apex? Like, at what point of the game?
Yeah, like towards the end of the first half, I had a lot of doubts
For
for
Heretics?
Yeah, they weren't playing like at the end of kickoff. The point was they weren't playing like they did in 2024, and it's the same.
I think a lot of that came with that beautiful defense half, right? From the Cypher deadlock stuff, in particularly the deadlock, because again, when Agent Select happened, we're so used to seeing Soulcast on it. It was a bit strange, but I felt like Mosey silenced all the doubters.
Oh, I was rubbing my hands when I seen that composition. I was like, this looks familiar. This is what they ran at Ascension last year. So yeah, obviously, if it's not broken, don't try and fix it. And that's what they managed to achieve. I think Mosey jumping onto that deadlock, though, he found so much success with these gravity net plays. He was able to completely counter any sort of waylay play that Miniboo was trying to have as well, just using it very reactively. And of course, he's usually playing that initiator, so it seems very natural for him to be able to play off of that utility in that way. And I think as well, the fact that he was able to get this amount of ultimate kills, 100% success rate, when do we ever see that with someone playing the deadlock? I think he performed phenomenal.
Yeah, I think on the Heretics side, it's not like they played against a composition here that's that uncommon.
She's new.
The Deadlock Cypher became quite
पहली
popular
बार
last
देख रहा हूँ
year.
मैं इसको
This was Heretics' map pick, so it's going to be interesting to see how this series ends up going.
I think the map choice was strange, right? Because they permabanned it for so long, and some of the players even said it in the past, they just didn't like the map that much. I don't know what changed. I would love to talk to them about it at some point just to get some answers. But we have to give some flowers to the new face here in VCT Emea, Governor, and also one of the veteran players, Avova, rolling back the years, Mini. We've seen Avova have these kind of performance since first strike, you know, on the same exact agent.
Yeah, I mean, like, we came into this expecting there's going to be Batu and Floor, and then out of nowhere, Avova and Governor giving us, like, 2021 performances. So, fair play.
We're not complaining.
I mean, he asked for a new controller agent in that interview at the start of the show, right? But I think he's doing just fine on the Omen. You can see the comfortability that he has on this and the amount of value that he was able to get even from things like Paranoia to kind of slow that push despite Apex still choosing to have the double Sentinel. And I think it's really disappointing for Team Heretics because they weren't able to get a single round when they switched sides. So it's just kind of like, where do you start pointing the fingers? And as we go on to Apex's map pick, yeah, there's a lot of question marks being raised.
I mean, when was the last time we saw Heretics not win a single retake on a map? I don't think it's ever happened. I really, in my mind at least, I don't even remember any time that's happened to them. And this is where things get even more peculiar because Split is next and Split is yet another map. At least, Billy, Heretics were completely avoiding at kickoff.
Yeah, completely avoiding. We've not seen them play it in a long, long time. However, I do want to be like a little bit optimistic because as soon as we go to Split, you know, we are potentially going to see that sort of double duelist composition, potentially on both sides, right? Apex have 3 duelists that they could choose from now. But I think for Team Heretics, yeah, I'd like to see them confident. I'd like to see them go back to that Neon, that ISO, those kind of things that worked for them on Split in the past.
Yeah, I was a bit of a doubter about the double duelist, but Split is the map I love on. I've always been a lover on it, so if both of them play it, I'm absolutely happy here.
This is where we
Hey,
want to see both of
Rien's
them play, right?
fixed
They
his
all have the
hairstyle,
tools
huh?
to do that. And just for some context,
Looks
because,
much more better
Governor
now.
traditionally plays Sky on Split. He's also played Jet, Raze, and Reyna. You know, you never know. Batu, however, Astra Sky. He's not really kind of leaned into that double dive, whereas Floor, as you can imagine, is very much the Raze, the Jet, a couple of chambers, you know, here and there. So they do definitely have options. I think Floor would be the obvious one that you have to put on the duelist, but would you guys like to see Batu or Governor here? Or three, why not?
I think it's difficult because who then jumps onto that Sentinel, right? Or like if they're going to run that double controller, maybe you do have someone slot onto the Astra. It's a difficult one, and I think as well Split is a map that's not super comfortable for Mosey or Avova. At least in Apex last year, they didn't touch it at all. They played it once against Falcons and that was it. They did not go near that Split map. So I think for them to pick it going into this one, they must have something really exciting cooked up.
I would go Batu over Governor.
Blore. You just love Blore.
Yeah.
I love the Blore.
You're such a Blore enjoyer.
I think it's like Governor has a different skill set than Batu, so
yeah,
Batu go kill.
And again, if he can, the Sky, I don't like it that much, but if he wants to, it's comfortable for them. You know, definitely something we've seen on Split, at least. On the other side, however, for Heretics, we are expecting
I'm hoping they have a good grasp on the map.
At some point, they have to
or a good
kill.
comp.
They're getting a diff a little bit on the server right now, and they
Let's
want
see
to take
comp.
this to a map 3. And looking at the Aegis side, we don't get the double duelist on Apex, but we do get Vut on the ISO mini. I love this.
ISO.
When I say double duelist on this map, it's usually the Euro Raze or like Jet
but
Raze.
But ISO.
ISO Woots. I mean, he didn't have a great first map, so I'm hoping that this is the turnaround now.
Yeah, I think ISO is a great agent for him to be able to like kind of bring up that energy again. But I think for me, Governor jumping onto that Tejo on Apex, that's really interesting. It's going to be, nice to see how
this
he
is
kind of
really
plays
good
around that
comp.
agent.
We
And
have
of
seen it
course,
before.
Mosey back onto that breach, that's something that's
This,
very comfortable
I
for
don't
him.
know.
But Batu
But why
Viper
Wood can
as
farm?
well, right? For someone that is such
Wood
an
can farm on
explosive
ISO,
player,
I'm pretty sure.
seeing him on something a bit more restricted, such as Viper, is really interesting to me.
Yeah, of course, for Governor, he was never the Tejo player on Talon. It was banned. So I wonder if he's picked up anything from that.
I mean, I just love the comp from Apex, to be honest with you. The Heretics' comp to me screams that maybe this still isn't one of their better maps.
Oh.
So I'm a bit worried that they're exposing their map pool here this series.
Well, I'm full bias out here because Apex are on the cusp of pulling up one of the biggest upsets we have ever seen in VCT EMEA. Mitch and Tom, let's see what's going to happen on Split.
Thank you very much. Yes, we're
on day 2.
Off to a flying start. I mean, for Team Heretics coming in today, our matchup later on, we could have seen a 2-1 possibly. But this one, it seemed out of the question. This is Heretics. These are Los Niños after all. But today, they didn't come in on form on their map pick. Now we're on to Split. Someone Apex wanted to see this battleground go to. And in the veto process, Tom, it seemed pretty clear that Heretics had the upper hand. Well, that whole script is out the window. And I'm excited to see how this story ends as we get into Split. Apex's map pick, and they will be starting out on the attack side.
This is becoming more and more of meta comp.
See what they've got planned. Already excited to see that Teo in Governor's hands. And of course, that Fluorescent on a Yoru, and if you're not excited, you're weird.
Hey.
Stun through, already taking a lot of ground, but this leaves Benji in a bit of an obscure position. 2 players watching back towards the vents. The A site from the defense is currently wide open. Not a single player within the constraints of the site. Seems like they were quite happy to play retake on that one.
Fluorescent's given up the space. It's being reclaimed. Benji's now sat there ready for the fight, although Utility sends him backwards. A lot of delay around middle. This
Bro, the
swing is
damage
costing him a
they
lot of
took.
health. The spams from that Ghost have been not quite deadly, but pretty damn close to it. Batu uses the Viper Wall to try to sneak up into heaven. Benji with a snake bite buys himself the moment. Governor from the rope catches it. And that pick is huge. Normally that's going to send players rotating to that A site through spawn. And Apex might be gambling that that's the case as they still set their eyes on this B site where there's plenty of Heretics players waiting for them to round the corner. It's at least going okay to start with, but the HP so low on these players, and Miniboo will decimate them with the spike on the floor. It's all on to Batu.
15 seconds. the time just not on his side to
I
try and
want
get
to
anything.
know
In
one
fact, even
thing.
getting the spike
जब
and
इन लोग को
planting it at
इतना
this stage should be
information था इधर से इधर तक का
undercut just to make things a little bit worse. And while Minibu back
इतना
in
एरिया
full
उन लोग
force,
के अंदर
4K
था.
for him in the
Why
pistol.
didn't they go
And
in?
something that I think is so obvious to touch on, but it's been spoken about for a long time. It's like, okay, because of that performance all the way back at Masters, how Woot played on a duelist, is this team eventually just going to get to the point where they go, screw it, we got two of the best youngsters in the world, let's just out-frag them. I think that's basically what they're doing on their split. Like, you're going to be very reliant on Benji playing a Viper that is not only like partially your controller, but also basically a Sentinel, especially when it comes to this defensive side. Rien's playing that initiator that basically just has to get them every single piece of intel they need, and not a mass amount of setup utility. Will it matter when you have Minibu and Woot both playing duelist? No.
Well, at least it shouldn't. Let's see. I'm not sure there's any convention to cling on to with how things went in that last map. For Apex, well, you don't expect much in this round. It's all classics. And a slow move across the map as perhaps even farming orbs will be the best case scenario. For now, big rotation from Heretics. 4 players either on B site or up in heaven. Of course, if you do claim A with those classics, even if they do manage to run through Rien's, you'll only pick up a Ghost. And it's going to be very difficult. Oh, there we go, there's the info. It's going to be very difficult to hold on to that ground once the retake comes through. The Prowler spotting one. Rien's knows he doesn't want to stick around. That means he avoids the stun. Would have caught him. Can now use C's to slow them down somewhat on the way through.
Oh.
Still, Malsey good for one. And
Oh.
another fight with Fluorescent. Not expected to be quite that close. At first, I thought taking A not that bad. But the kill and the weapon pickup, now it's scary.
Especially
Though
with that weapon being in the hands
health
of
नहीं है हम लोग
Fluorescent
पे.
Governor, also
अभी
still
भी
standing.
वो है blind है.
Potentially
The
cause them
4
problems
are over
with
here.
the salvos as well.
भाई
The
ये
issue is
blind
they
का
are
कमाल
all
कर
stuck
देगा.
in this corner, which, okay, working with pistols can help them out, but could also be their demise. The connection onto the fake out is going to leave them blinded. Okay, Minibu, that might just be the end of it. A spray through, even still. The amount of players that they've dropped really has made this round costly. But the main thing for Heretics was, okay, at least they got it over the line.
Well, that's it.
कोई ना.
2 weapons
Nice
carried
damage.
through. You can definitely lick your wounds in the future rounds. But as you might have seen before we went to the replays and the cams, Minibu's got his ult online. 7 kills and 0 deaths so far.
Not bad.
That is one way to farm it up. You see that double kill through the
Very
smoke.
similar in the last map, though. Very hot start, slowed down for a few rounds, and that was when Apex started coming back. And we really didn't see much from the likes of someone like Woot, who's normally, well, if not second in command, normally the best player in the server. So I want to see if now onto an agent that does become a lot more reliant on just him winning Angels, if he's going to step up to the plate. And as said, gut feeling, yes. Doesn't necessarily mean it will happen, as the last map showed.
Stealth drone's gone through. Boo knows he's caught a gap in it. Oh, but the decoy's the one to run through, nearsighted. He didn't want to take the risk, and well, now he's forced back.
Dirk is in everyone's heads.
Showstopper in play. It's backside and a
Ooh.
good connection. The one-to-one trades all they'll get for their trouble. With these weaker weapons, like a little more from that, or even just keeping that player alive. Now inside the smoke, though. Oh, okay, they're going to stun Benji right out of it, but that Bucky will be waiting for the late round when they
Nice shot.
crash their way around to deal with Boo, who is currently, well, dealing a lot of damage. I thought he had another kill out of that, but the sliver of health left on Malsey.
Clinging to life. The thing is, though,
Okay.
that he's done well. A double trade in a second or so. The bait on the tap, as they will
I
make
think-
that push through.
30 seconds left.
The vulnerable thrown
Oi.
out, already utilized. They know exactly where Avova is. In fact,
Hey.
they should have a decent idea of where both players are. And that's the thing for Heretics. Maybe just hoping to buy a little bit of extra time as they reposition. They move back around. 12 seconds left, and now that spike has to be committed. And the fact is, the defensive side haven't got a clue as to where they are. The timing,
Oh,
though,
my
from
damage
Avova
is insane.
couldn't have been any better.
Damage is
Peeks
insane.
back up, leaves Rien's on a slither of health, and playing this one together, that is
Okay.
sublime from the remaining couple of players.
Nice
from
bonus,
Apex.
man, nice
Again,
bonus.
a
So
very
much
costly
damage.
round, but they won't mind.
Avova in crunch time. is there to save them yet again. I'm just looking back at last map, it was 19 kills, 6 deaths, and 16 assists that he ended up walking out with. Of course, the smokes will help you out. We saw the assist on the spike kills.
Yeah.
But it very impressive to see that kind of a performance, the return to the Avova of old, and that can carry through moving into Split. Heretics are in a lot of trouble for now. Great sign of life from that defensive side of Heretics. Good damage done. Showstopper for the 1-to-1 trade is so-so. From that point forward, even with big plays from players like Batu, they were able to make it competitive and push it to the limits. This is the round where they'll be able to deal the death blow themselves, though. Full investment, Boombot down mid, and Woot embedded in this risky angle. And if he goes down, or if he's challenged properly, there's not much he can do to get out of here.
When does he decide to activate the double tap? Doesn't really seem like a good time. It would only be if they really do give the game away. Maybe if a teammate gives them contact. Well, okay, Floor's gone teleporting through the vulnerability, and now looks to try and potentially take an extra fight, but with already having a player advantage. I'm just going to fall off. Again, this is what I said in the pistol. They left a mass opening over on this A site, and especially with the player that went down in the form of Boo, they have to be very careful of where Batu has got to.
They are grouped up as
nice
three,
shot.
watching the right angle. Batu won't catch them by surprise.
30 seconds
The spike now
Same
moves
again.
in the other direction, realizing they've lost that space. A big fan
Don't
of the fake
peek.
plays, and it worked
Plant
wonderfully
to
when
kar
it came
de,
to
don't
Ascent.
peek.
Plant will be acquired as a result, and again, a 2v4 clutch needed.
Plant,
Clutch,
plant.
which Malsey, after a pretty hot map on the deadlock, but also
10
Avova
seconds
is present.
Spike planted.
The thing is, though, what they're doing is just grouping up as three. Like at any stage,
Yeah,
you should
it
be
will be
able to at least
impossible.
trade one of those kills. And
Ek
then
jan
just
bas
the
kood
patience
raha hai.
from Benji just to make sure that nobody can sneak around behind them and reclaim heaven control. The whole idea is for just him to stop anybody pushing any further. And from Malsey just sat at the back of that site. Paranoia
Okay,
also
दोनों का वो पता लग गया.
caught a couple of players, but getting out of here seems tough, and that was the kill they were waiting for. Waiting
Indeed.
for that move from Benji. Perfectly placed. Malsey
Oh.
does manage to, though.
Oh.
Thankfully, Benji's there as a
Indeed.
safe pair of hands. An immediate response from Heretics. They'll convert that lead a little further.
Do like as well, though, seeing Avova pop his
I
TP
think
and instantly looks behind.
They should
Had
do a
read
wall at
on
A.
Benji's
They are
flank.
not taking it.
Couldn't connect the kill. This early aggression down middle, though, ambitious as hell from Woot. Manages to connect the kill onto Fluorescent. Pops out the vulnerable to slow them down,
Let's go,
send
let's
them
go,
in the
let's
other
go,
direction,
let's
and the
go.
double tap,
Yeah.
most certainly. The second you hear that shield pop up and online, you are not looking to challenge. You just want that timer to run out. They fled, and from there, playing the numbers on the defense always works
It's
out.
been very interesting because I think the two players that the community have been very critical of going into this match were Miniboo and Malsey. I think Malsey was nigh on perfect on map 1. Miniboo's currently up there with 10 kills after 4
10
rounds, so it definitely seems like they've been in the lab working. Well, I guess when Heretics don't succeed, it's always difficult to find the point to blame, and they have so many fantastic players within this roster. Already, though, a more direct approach.
bhai.
They've walked right into the crosshair
Nice
of
shot.
Woot, and they haven't walked away.
The opening is strong, and well, now at least for Apex, they can wait out that double tap. It's not going to get much easier from that point. All these weaker weapons.
There.
Heretics are ready and waiting. A nice passive play. They're even conceding. So the big problem here is they've lost a lot of access. The mid push can easily come through. So instead, the push up from Heretics into B main, taking that angle and isolating positions they can be flanked out from. Woot up close on this smoke. He doesn't know just how many players are right around the corner, and now isolated by the salvos. Boo has to take the fight. He wins one, somehow getting out of there with a kill, but it's Apex with the upgrades. They'll
Nice
be
shot.
feeling like they're in a better spot. Rolling Thunder leaves Rian's in the open. He's still alive. Eventually will be dropped. But with that, the rifle retrieved, the plant secured, and Governor has his ult online. The Rolling Thunder got them to sight. Perhaps the Armageddon can get them the round.
This would be one hell of a round for them to lose. Opening pick, barely any weaponry. But
दोनों
now
one
Governor
shot है.
also has that rifle in hand.
Nice gun.
That's big, though. taking that gun out of play. Molesy needs to try and catch someone off guard, trying to regress, but there's only so many places that he really could be isolated back towards the site. Needs an immediate connection because there really isn't anywhere for him to go. Trying to bait him into that fireball. The second he looks to try and use that aftershock, it is all she wrote. Again, though, another round where I sort of look at this from the side of Apex and go, from the side of Heretics. It felt like there were just some unnecessary risks, especially playing that close to the smoke. When you know you have a huge weaponry advantage, I don't really see the benefit.
Yeah, and you saw as well the fact that on the other side, the salvos were used just in time from Apex. It stops Boo from backing off, and that's not just one kill, that's 2 kills. And why is Boo there? Well, because Woot's there. You can't just leave him close to that smoke in his own. So, yeah, it definitely does read as a little bit of a gap or an unnecessary risk. A timeout called here by Apex. They were 4-0 down in the previous map. Ended up winning it 13-5. So
that Viper wall is
no
not working,
room
bhai.
For Team Heretics to take their foot off the gas. And keep in mind, with this being Apex's map choice, this is the half that Heretics decided to start on. So a good showing is necessary.
Well, I say as well, if you think back to the Ascension run made from Apex, something we always spoke about was Danito pauses. Like, this was something that was brought up time and time and time again, the amount that this guy adds in tactical pauses. And I think we've seen already the sort of imagination that's coming in from this roster in terms of the way they're going to play the game. It is definitely not just standardized. They have a lot of cool setups. So I think that him just taking that moment early in games and going, okay, this is what I think can be changed. Because I don't think he's just sat there giving them a motivational speech. I think this guy always comes in with a plan.
Well, I would certainly hope so. 4-1, and a plan for Apex could be dangerous with a Viper's Pit, Armageddon, and a Yoru ulti online as well. They can take this to another dimension. We'll see if Heretics can battle with them there. As the barriers are about to go up, a lot of presence from Apex towards this B side of the map. They've got a Viper wall down there as well, and it will be late round lurks from Batu. Immediate ult from Fluorescent. Playing this as a drone normally. Stun goes through though. It's commitment! And Fluorescent's got 1! Salvos making a big problem for players on the side, and here comes Armageddon! Right
nice
into
blind,
Fluorescent's arms, that's where they have to play! The picks are huge, and Heretics get the site for free as a result. And look at the lurk from Batu. It's perfect! Miniboo clears that angle, but really, do you ever expect someone to be there?
Save.
Oh, well, to mention the Danito pause, I don't think this could have gone any better. I want to know, I need to know if he called this setup. Like, this was something like, okay, we're going to have this plan, you're going to, like, obviously try and find someone, we're going to pick off that, and then we're going to use that ult, or if that was just something in the moment. Because if this was something red, then that is ridiculous, because that was so meticulous in the setup, to finding the first kill off the back of a stun, to making sure the player up in heaven had nowhere to go. It looked so easy with those couple of ults thrown into play. And well, a great response from Apex after a couple of tough rounds. That was really clean.
It absolutely was. Gets you back on the board. The ult used from Yoru, of course, alongside Tejo. It's a big investment. If they don't get a reward for it, it could leave you stranded a little bit in terms of that ult economy, but they have worked this one out wonderfully. Still, the connections needed. And Team Heretics will now come in with some advantages of their own. Viper's Pit on either side, close to a showstopper.
What is this one?
Take a look at Woot. He can pull you right into a 1v1, and might not have, I think he's 3 and 5 at the moment. I don't think that fight with a double tap online inside the ulti is going to be very easy for anyone on Apex to deal with.
Already going to be under some serious pressure. The stuns combined with that salvo. One of the 2 rifles, it's the Boo brothers looking to try and take home the round.
Nice shot.
He's done well there. Sure, it's not the prettiest of fight, and I imagine the gun's going to go
into
yaar,
one should remain main, bhai. Pure side mein kyun block ho jate hain log?
Yeah, whether the Viper's Pit will be used up against so many pistols or not, we'll never know. Governor picking up Miniboo though, that's huge. Woot's been given the only rifle. He's gone for it now. Looking for the fight with the double tap on.
Nice
and
shot.
Just a single shot from Woot is enough. Fluorescent out of the round. And now the pressure really on. Benji's managed to recover a rifle. It's a Phantom and Viper's Pit's there. If they can get to the side, it could be used. If there's anyone left, they need a couple kills. And it's a
nice
on the other side, picking up 3. The round was
Such
under
a good
threat,
stun,
but they
yeah.
forgot about this man. Showing his face in the same form as map number 1. He's starting to heat up again.
Yeah, I like it as well. You constantly see those sort of interplay between Malsey and
Such a good
Avova,
stun.
and this round is no different. Trying to make their way back into the site. The stun catches both players. The second the stun goes off, Avova's there to swing, and it almost looks too easy once again.
The key player was Governor though भाई. अगर back नहीं लेता ना, they would have been trapped. वो 1v1 नहीं जीता ना.
And that's the thing.
होता
This
ही नहीं.
round that only started with a couple of guns. Definitely came a bit closer, but those post plants have looked great.
Oh.
Not sure he'd want to take that if he knew what was on the other side. Fluorescent picks up the kill in the Viper's Pit inside of mid. They gotta stay in it. Benji wants that control late into the round, but it means on the site there's only one player and stunned up, caught by the Tejo drone as well. Minibu had nothing to do or say about that play. Now a 5v3. Viper's Pit dropped in mid, but Benji's still waiting for that lure. Batu's timing though is good. He is really running the clock down, keeping the control, keeping their back safe as rotations come around now. Malsey making his way towards the spawn, in fact. He's on the walkabouts. They're looking to hunt them down, assuming Heretics are saving.
I wonder if those steps may have been even heard, because you could see the little bit of hesitation.
Bro, they are going so early.
From the side of Heretics. My ego. Woot is definitely watching, definitely aware that somebody could be around this corner. That's at least one. Malsey spotted, but the fact is it's...
They're going so early.
Too much of a fight here. Clearly wanting to try and get that ultimate back online as quickly as possible. Even if it didn't win them the round, it did have impact in the attempt. More importantly, holding on to the guns, which, hey, even just removing the one, and the second as well. Okay, well done from Malsey.
I have to say, Tom, that felt very early for that call to be made by Apex. And again, I think that's just a good read on where Heretics are at. The previous map as well, their confidence isn't going to be sky high.
Something I want to say, and I want to see if it becomes a running thing. Normally, Boo is an incredibly safe pair of hands, but that is now 2 times they've left him on his own on one side of the map, and he's just died. Like, it was B main, and we saw it on A main as well, him versus Batu, and that just left the A side completely open. That's not something I want to see from your sort of IGL controller player. It's like, okay, I am on my own on a side, I'm just going to take a fight. Like that just, in the round before, where they have 2 guns, I don't really have an issue with it. In this round, that just felt like, oh, that's the easiest opening Fluorescent's ever going to get is, oh, your IGL smoke has just swung me.
And realistically, think about it from the perspective of, okay, what's the best case scenario there? You get 1, it's a miracle if you get 2. There's 3 players holding an angle, you're traded out.
Or there's no one there. That's probably the best case. Yeah.
And even then, are you going to hold that?
They have a good retake ult, भाई. Shade ult is really good.
It certainly reads as a mistake from Team Heretics.
और वो Viper Pit को पूरे तरीके से counter कर लेगा. Omen का तो pretty much useless ही होता है.
The previous map
Yoru ult or Raze ult won't make the difference.
A row now for that attacking side. Ulti's back online. Viper's Pit's still there for Batu. As Lurk's providing value deep into the round. Again, it was a very early call from Apex, but I think that
economy distribution है भाई. अबे उसको buy दो.
Economy slow.
इन लोगों को buy दो. तुम्हारा तो full हो रहा है.
Leaving 2 weapons out of their hands in the end. Devastating.
Up against Teo, Viper.
Yeah,
post plan.
Huge post plan.
What's the chance of them actually going for that?
2 over here.
We're back in the same boat again. Writhos has done well.
Random shot.
Causing issues in late round plays. Dimensional drift has been utilized just for information. Fluorescent's going to stick it out in the spawn for now. Obviously, the gate crash.
Oh, fake as well. There's no way out for Fluorescent. It's just a full fight. Brave, and a lot of the time she will win those fights, but up against the weaker weapons, that's given Team Heretics a rifle to play with.
What? Where did that go? Where did it go? Where did that go? The most in time. I feel like Minibu's been nice up, luckily, Big Brother is there to save the day. Binds on with the Sheriff. They need to clear him from the backside to have a chance, and this time he is playing that survival game. Eventually, though, looks for the
But they have got guns. They have got 3 guns.
Woot still having one from earlier in the round. This is one of the best opportunities we've seen for Heretics in quite a while. Orions is going to hit that shot all day. It's another clutch attempt for Avova, and he's going across the map.
30 seconds left.
Well,
Damn.
it's one thing of over in a clutch, but a post plant, time on his side. This is where things truly do get spooky. He's going for the aggressive stance, has a smoke in his back pocket, and it will be used to screens. He's already heard the steps moving that way. All three players taking that position. Reveal avoided to start with. They're making it out of the smoke now. Small angle around the wall, that gets a pick. Plant is nice and open with a paranoia still to play with. It won't really
Dude,
they're going to move out of the way before it gets there, surely. And the Viper Orb, that's going to really complicate things. The spam is good though. He's got it before it even went half. And now they're out of toxins. Avova knows. He's got them eating out of his hands. A fake flash with the pistol thrown out the window. Avova playing this to perfection, and he's ran the clock down. Avova in a clutch, and he's got it again.
It's another Red Bull clutch.
Oh,
I
he
feel like he's
sounds
gonna
so
have his
well
own
played.
sponsorship by the end of the month by this rate. Like, this has been so impressive.
ये क्या था? ये kill कैसे नहीं था?
What? How did
ना
that
भाई,
not kill
ये
him?
kill था.
Hey, you know,
ये kill था हमारी बात तो.
Yeah, it hit the metal arm.
did you not see that? Yeah, he had a buff where because he's a tank, right? A tank, he has more health. He has more health.
I mean, he's been robbed. Miniboo robbed of that kill, but Team Heretics robbed of the round by Avova. What a sensational play. And if this was a once-off, it'd still be damn impressive. But he does it every time.
Drone going out. His clutch stats are going to be off the charts. And they're big ones as well. Ones with high impact, ones that are going to damage the mental of Heretics for days, if not weeks.
Breach का ult आ गया.
Luckily, again, it was a low bite. That's the problem. These opportunities could have shattered Apex confidence in themselves after winning a round with the Sheriff. That was basically what that would have come down to. Boo got a Sheriff kill, Rians as well, but when they had the rifles was where things fell apart. Much slower round this time from Apex, hoping to try and find some space for Batu. Bear in mind his wall is on the other side, so he's going to have to use his orb. So him crossing is very well telegraphed by the defense.
All rolling thunder with all that noise being made. Why not
Wait,
make it a little louder?
they didn't clear that.
Thunder rings out,
What?
but it's Boo's rifle that deals the damage, the death blow, and another to follow up on eventually.
Okay.
He'll go down, but Benji has slipped into the backside. Still has an angle. Woot covering him as well. They'll both swing in deep and take this planter down.
Well
Team
played, well
Heretics,
played.
they stumble
क्या था ये?
and let Apex catch up
Why
and
did
even
he
take
think
the
that this
lead.
was
They're back
clear?
on the board at 5-5.
Yeah, that definitely felt like maybe a little bit of an oversight. I think they used that rolling thunder on the right half of the site. And so they should have an idea there's someone still could be backside. I think Fluorescent gets completely caught out by the swing of Boo. The fact he gets two there, that's basically the round winner. Because that could have gone easily in the other direction if he doesn't get anything. Heretics will equalize after a 4-round streak. I think a big
Highly
combo
doable by
breaker.
Heretics side
You
से.
have to bear in mind only one survived, so although we're getting towards the very end of the half, the next round might be a bit shaky. In all honesty, for either side.
They would be trying for Governor's ult by the last round.
Boo, this push around the Viper Orb. Not expecting a second, but Miniboo still couldn't make it worthwhile. They'll drop Malsey elsewhere, but a 4 versus 3. Heretics defense thinned out massively.
Oi!
Well, that's the thing. Governor cleared it with the drone. Avova's committed from the shadows, which will take him into the backside with the spike.
3v3.
Nobody else was around. But I actually think this has just confused Heretics more than anything, because you haven't actually spotted where Avova went. So although you have a rough idea, Batu as well, timing here will be everything.
Batu तो हिलता ही
He has
नहीं है
been
भाई इधर
so
से.
annoying just by sitting at the bottom of mid or outside A in a lot of rounds. It does seem like this time Heretics have got it bang on.
Well, his flank window opened about 3 seconds ago, maybe 5 at this point, and he's now capitalizing on it. That's a great read, just as the push is coming in on the site. He could be
Batu
here
can
right
win them
in
the
time
round.
to save the squad, and yet
Come
they are.
on, bhai,
They're
come
making
on.
noise, they're posturing,
on,
but they're
come on,
not
come on.
executing fully until Batu is
Niche.
here. And now, here comes the cavalry, a full
Oi.
swing around backside, and
Oh
a
bhai, oh wow bhai, well
to
played.
bring Apex back into the lead. A chance
भाई
to
what
lead
a
at the
timing,
half
huh?
as well. After a strong start from
Governor
Heretics,
का
it's
ult
slipping
आ
out of their
पाएगा
grasp slowly again.
Him getting deja vu, there's no doubt about that. I think as well, this is just an example of just.
But this is an
massive
attack side
communication
comp, na?
from the side of Apex, because a lot of
If I'm
times
not
you
wrong.
see
Defense
teams
side
sort of
तो
rush
नहीं है
into
ये.
things, maybe the spike gets lost, but that is clearly just Batu going, okay, give me some time, give me a few seconds just to get into that backline. Well, he is the major impact.
Governor का ult तो नहीं है. आ सकता है अगर ये kill कर ले.
That's what I was talking
वरना
about. It's
तो
not the
नहीं आएगा.
best.
Batu
3
का ult तो
rifles,
पड़ा हुआ ही है.
Stinger, and a sheriff for Boo. What was a hot early start for Miniboo is similarly to the last map, has slowed down. Hasn't been able to keep up that same sort of momentum. Still been
Okay,
decent.
Miniboo is on a
This
really
sort of
good
spot.
position.
Not
ओए ये
decent
क्या?
but cut it.
Oh, I like that bait. They know the drone's being going towards B every time the hit comes there. So it's a classic that breaks it. Leaving Miniboo flying under the radar. But again, it seems Apex are aware of that danger. Player playing up close. Coming through the wall this time instead of hiding. They know something's up. And they're not confident with the lack of information there. Move towards mid instead. Try to work that control. Benji's waiting. Stun comes in, but Orb buys him time. And he doesn't even need to use the snake bite, saving that for deeper into the round. Also, Benji just 2 away from the Viper's pit. That kill.
क्यों भाई? There is angle open. ये क्या peek था?
Time to jump.
But also for Batu, lost the pit.
Tell the player over here to clear this, and you can clear over there.
Apex seems like the commitment will be towards the safe side. Will has left them vulnerable. That's where the value of that stinger really can be. And they've got to go scurrying back. This needs to be a very quick move. Miniboo hasn't seen. We're going to wait. Eventually, he's going to realize, and this now just becomes a shooting gallery. Avova was the one real danger in this round, and well, Mosey will try as he might, but we will go into the half level.
A patience rewarded by Miniboo, or for Miniboo there in the end.
6-6
He
na?
stood on that spot the whole round. But
Heretics can win this easily. I think so.
Neck and
They would
neck.
require a
Someone
pistol.
has got to win.
Apex
We'll find out who
would require
after the
pistol.
break.
फुट वर्सेस को तो मैंने देखने वाला भाई.
Oh, for sure. No, I think that's the thing. You're looking at players like Avova, players like Mosey, looking like a different breed of player to what we saw at kickoff. Like we were looking at this team, I'll be brutally honest and say, as the 12th team. Like whether or not they could compete with a Koi or someone like that. But realistically, they have looked fantastic in this series and are just, what, 7 rounds away from taking this over the line. A lot of damage done, but realistically, it's only the kills going one way. Miniboo, he is the beginning of half king who's been dominating in a lot of these early fights. The pistol has been doing well. Still 3 more to find.
They required pistol though.
One of those is Fluorescent. Caught off by a smoke. Doesn't look like she'll have much impact on them crossing the site or on denying the plant. It's Heretics. And just now actually reposition the plant. They're going to go for a heaven play with a haunt up there, clearing them, buying them that little bit
Is
of
this
time.
audible?
I mean, makes it a bit more worthwhile if they do want to risk a fight for screens or that late play from Rien's up towards the top of ramp. He's currently just holding their back. Possibly even see that wall go up soon. That's his opportunity as the Vova rounds the corner. Paranoia now connected. Avova's picked up one. He has been unbelievable. That first map was beautiful. The second,
Hey, bhai, Batu kya dekh raha hai?
here there were opportunities, but he is being shut down. It's Fluorescent to pick up the banner already, finding 2, but with the plan for heaven and a player embedded up there, mistakes have to be made to give her any chance, and they will quickly put that to bed. 7-6 with a pistol round for Heretics.
Yeah, I think
3-1 and a pistol.
A decent start coming into the second half. I think in a lot of the early rounds, they've been fantastic. I think Miniboo, again, you're the 17-8, definitely slowed down, but coming right back to form when it comes to this attack side. And let's be real, you go into any map and you're looking at it and you're going, okay, they've got a raise, they've got an ISO. I think you can even throw a fade in there and you go, probably going to be quite good on the attack. So now I look at the other side of things. What sort of setups are there? What sort of abilities are we going to see from the likes of Governor to put people into position for those early fights? And this is what I'm talking about. The stun, immediately utilized, but the goal here seems to only be getting orbs for Fluorescent, and you know, when she gets that many kills in a pistol, then you're a few away from getting that dimensional drift.
Poison's off.
Seeking out some fights on the side of Apex around middle, but that space has been left wide open. Heretics do have themselves quite global map control. It's going to be Boo holding the B push alongside Rien's. Holding that walk up on mid. The space taken on A. Well, yeah, Benji's going to go down, but that's the one pistol that they have. Indeed. 2 away now from the ulti. Won't be used here, but perhaps it'll be online for the next round.
That's the thing. One more kill and a death. That's enough. Or even just a death and getting an orb in the next. It will just be the cleanup crew. Again, Miniboo padding those stats. And while we mentioned Fluorescent,
Really well played,
very
bhai.
close. So is Miniboo.
Pura clean.
Although if it's anything like his last showstopper, maybe just stick to the rifle, honestly. 19-8, and the showstopper has not helped.
No, it really didn't. It harmed his chances, if anything. I still can't get over that. Do you know the best part? Because he flicked away so quick, he's going to watch that back and go, where did it end up landing? He's going to be very angry when he finds out.
Oh, it was next to him.
Yeah, I must have made a mistake, guys. My bad. No. Well, I suppose he did. Yeah, should have hit him dead on. 8-6, 2 rounds in it, but it's Heretics back in the lead. A strong performance in the early half has been there across the board, but now Benji down, ult online for Fluorescent with that kill. They wanted the orb, and they've got it. With a TP, the gate crashed towards the B site. Fluorescent is here and ready for the push if this is where it comes down.
Something we noted yesterday, the passive nature of teams playing against this Agent of Teo. You sit back further because you're likely going to get stunned and wrecked by those salvos. The fact is, that's exactly what's happened to Benji in this round. Nonetheless, obviously going to be forced back. Quite a lot of space already garnered towards the heavens, seemingly being given up. Well, that's not quite enough from above this time around.
Anyone else?
22 HP. The ult not even thought about. She's holding her ground against this onslaught, regardless of how easy it would be to take her down. Just one bullet needed, but none landed in that last fight. And now a 4 versus 1. Boo, the one to try it will fail.
Well played by Floor. Floor,
the
bhai.
best Neo impression.
I was about to say,
8-7.
she doesn't have health. She doesn't have shields. Maybe she just has aura. That's why it just walks out and goes, oh my god! I don't know what just happened. Like,
Damn, bhai, she plays so well, huh? She has some
still
nice
managed to win the fight versus Rien's. And then, yeah, you feel like with Boo, she had to be dead to rights. But not the case.
Come on, bro.
Here we go, though. This is where that kill contract online for Wu likely to try and take someone out of play fairly early in the round, saying that Miniboo's gone. Already a complete claim the control of Heaven. And similarly to what we've seen from the opposing squad, this is a one-player A-site defense, and it's Yoru.
Yeah, it's Yoru, but that might seem odd, but it's Fluorescent, and now it all makes sense. Gate crash set up to fall back to screens. Fluorescent wants a kill before that's popped, but it's denied, and the util coming behind. Beautiful bait, though. That gate crash has meant that Woot uses the ult on empty space. They'll walk into the site, but Heretics wanted an extra pick, an extra
but they
fight
got
with
info
a
now.
huge advantage. And the double tap will have faded away. They also used their paranoia for initial Heaven control, so there's a lot of important utility not there, while Apex have it all to work with.
Governor
Not
nahi
aware
hai.
that anybody could be this far behind. That's a couple of times now. He's been completely
1,
caught out.
2, 3.
It is that dimensional drift utilized, stun and
Heaven,
combination, but still,
heaven.
We see Heretics with an advantage booked from the heavens. Just looking to try and reclaim some space, wary that maybe someone could have got close. Instead, he drops down and he finds both kills. Big round from Woot, even with that ultimate missing.
Well done for Woot indeed. The side of Heretics on the push through, being baited out by the gate crash, using up the ult, losing their double tap as well. It looked like that could have been a problem, but Woot, you know, they saw 3 players with Fluorescence ultimate. The one that went unaccounted for was Woot up in Heaven. He gets a surprise kill. The punish was there as well. You know, Fluorescent came out of the ultimate on site because of the breach stun, and we saw great success from that earlier on in the first half. But this time, Heretics were ready. That 2-round lead maintained, and a big push from Miniboo again. This time, it's not a solo hold from Fluorescent. There's salvos waiting for that. There's a stun coming through, and even the showstopper used this time to good effect.
Governor's not quite as lucky. Well, it seems like neither was Fluorescent. Luckily, Mosey is there to trade, but Miniboo's job has already been done. The rest of the team can get into that post-spawn. Benji this time much deeper with the squad. In fact, it's Boo just hard watching towards that site. Not really a little careful, though. He's setting up smokes from afar, but Batu can thread the needle. It seems like the rest of the team are well aware that there was a gap. In fact, it is being watched completely by Woot, but doesn't win the fight. It's now becoming at least a little bit awkward, but luckily Riens was there to save the day.
Yeah, worst case, Boo was rounding the corner to get the trade, so that setup, that deeper play from Boo, and just Woot being aware of that push, get the kills, the early info.
It's 4-1.
In position 4-1.
Yes.
Oh, this is where it gets a little dangerous. I mean, the reality is, though, Apex, this round was a big investment from them, so their economy's not going to be in that healthy of a spot. So yes, previously, Heretics get 4.5, and it falls apart. This time, I'm confident it's going to be a little bit different, and I'm worried that I'll regret saying
this round के बाद जहाँ
me too.
timeout ले लेंगे हम लोग.
Seeing Batu with a judge, and somehow that fills me with more fear than anything else. Fluorescent as well, just walking towards mid, obviously looking for someone.
Nice shot. Oh, TP दिया था थोड़ा सा late हुआ.
It will be the immediate trade,
but nice shot.
Still losing one of the heavy hitters from Heretics, who has been having a fantastic map. In fact, to be honest, Miniboo was decent in the last map as well. Waylay, I don't think it filled me with mass amounts of hope for the Jet replacement, but he still looked alright on it.
Unfortunate as well that the play around in that corner wasn't the one with the double tap, right? Miniboo's the one clearing that while Woot's watching up towards a deeper play from stairs or from vent. That ends up biting him with Miniboo down. And 45 seconds left. I mean, this is really, we're running that clock down low on the side of Heretics. Where they decide to go, well, I mean, they've gotten lucky here. Batu's avoided. Our just moved out of heaven. He's right behind them with a judge! A madman! He gave up the position, but he went right back into it. Still, it keeps it into a 3v3. And they know Governor's down below. He's still good for one. This is getting scary. And eventually, well, it looks like things are getting better till Malsey picks up a rifle, comes in from heaven, no one's watching, and they do just in time. Riens
is too good.
Horizon. Found Malsey before that got a little bit too spooky. 11-7. Now it seems like Heretics, they're on the home stretch.
I could already hear the regret.
I was so scared.
Right now with the judge. Scared. No fear, and definitely a dicey round. In fact, I'd say that's back-to-back rounds that Rian's has sort of saved them.
You're so good, bro. Oh my god.
Well, seems like Benji agrees. Seems like he agrees. 11-7. Mentioned it before. Fact,
I don't think so Apex can win this map. Last map का पता नहीं मेरे को. Last map में मेरे को नहीं लगता इन लोग भी उतना अच्छा होंगे Team Heretics.
Well, one of those is not available, but they do have a Rolling Thunder instead. And that's the thing. I feel like this is where we see that value out from the coaching staff of Apex. The fact is, though, if there is no value in this round, that's probably map done.
Well, that's exactly it, right? You're putting it all on the line. You've got ultis. We're going to see probably the operator from what we're seeing down the bottom there. Fluorescence at least got it for now. This is it. Throwing it all at your opponents. And if Heretics are able to stand unshaken by that play, by this play, then yeah, 5 in a row to try to take it across the line. And a very explosive composition. Shouldn't have too much trouble making that happen, especially save up those ults and just dump them in. Speaking of which, Woot comes into this one with his ultimate online. Again, we'll be trying to pull a player into a one-on-one fight with his double tap shield online. A very, very difficult fight for anyone that gets brought in. And if it's Fluorescent, an impossible one with that operator. So there's a lot of dangers for Apex. And to be honest, there's not much you can do to avoid it.
Bring them down.
It's just say impossible and Fluorescent in the same sentence.
Ooh, जी दिया भाई. Wood का थोड़ी ना हरा पाएगा.
Oh! This scenario, and there you go. It is. The Turkish youngster.
Damn, भाई.
Turk on Turk violence that actually didn't go the way you'd expect, even with that little bit of extra shielding for Woot. And that's about as good as a start as you could hope for. Don't think the coaching staff
Oh yeah, why are they stacking over here?
No, probably not.
See what the plan is for the rest of the round. Fluorescent still with a pretty deep angle.
एक sense का re-clear करने के लिए drone नहीं है. They don't have anything to be clear. Okay.
Heretic squad are
but still, अच्छा they don't
sense.
have info.
Look at the ultimate charge for Benji. Just one little orb. And he'll find himself
They
a
don't have
Viper's
info
pit.
only.
He may have the
वही तो
disadvantage
दिक्कत है.
in the round, but if you get a pit online and a plant inside of it, it's a very difficult thing for your opponents to deal with. But Fluorescent is holding this angle. The shot doesn't land.
Whiffed.
Benji's left alive for now. Batu falling as
Nice
well.
shot.
Apex's numbers thin out. Fluorescent needs one on this site. They're all around, and it's actually a Vova to find it. Fluorescent in with another, but the trades come in so quickly. Rolling Thunder for Malsey committed here and now alongside the Armageddon, but they've easily dodged it. Well, at least it looked like he got caught by it in the end, and Rian's
This is so close.
Never mind. They're here to fall perfectly into that trap. And for the side of Apex, they get another shot.
Fluorescent पहला वाला whiff किया, लेकिन दूसरा वाला मार दी तो it's all good.
Being able to win this fight was
Second shot was really good, लेकिन अच्छा flick था.
Again, I think some Sailor supportive utility. I want to shout him out for the 15th time this game. Malsey stuns both players in that fight.
Oh, he went up top onto the rafters, and it just so happens that's exactly where the ult started. He was a pixel away from safety. I was wondering how he ended up going down.
A battle of the greats. Batu is here again with the judge. They managed to get a little bit further, but the thing is they have to fall back at this stage. Minibush just kept going. He took that space, dodged Fluorescent's operator, and then just carried on, found Governor along the way. Has to be a little bit careful, and that's the thing, that pit is now gone. Oh no, maybe not.
Just got in the time.
Just about.
Oh,
eventually gonna have to give it up with this full commitment in towards the A site.
Yeah, the pit's no use anymore. It's time to focus on the site, but that is going to be remarkably tough if you've got a judge. Luckily, Batu's recovered a rifle now, and so a chance to take that fight on more even footing. The problem is, look at what Heretics have done. This deep pit as well. That's causing so much trouble with players embedded deep into screens. They've got so much control for Apex, but there is no choice really but to fight for this. It's a tough call for a save at this stage of the game. The fight, well, that may see them crumble as the first domino falls here. It's Benji Fishy onto a Vova, up top, claim the kill. It's a risk, and one that comes back to bite them. A kill for Batu, but it quickly falls apart as the rest of Heretics close it out at 12-8. 4 chances to claim this map and bring us all the way to Icebox.
That's the thing, it was a gap that Rian sort of left that ended up with Batu being able to get behind. but then because of that, they didn't know that Rians was still outside of the pit and wasn't ready for it to be clear, because they actually flashed through the screen to get to Rians and no one checked it. So that was just the mistake, but it kind of also got rid of the pit. So it was like a little bit unlucky and lucky at the same time. Nonetheless, we now sit 12 and 8. Weaponry not great. Ultimates dissipated.
Ults बहुत आ रहे हैं भाई, जीत जाएंगे हम लोग. 1 हर्ट 2 टर्न दोनों के दोनों भाई game winning ults, and they don't have. They have 1 ult. That's really good.
Boo is wasting no time getting in there, dodges the stun, but not the flash, and it's Boo and Banshee.
It's done.
Even showing up for the kills. Governor and Fluorescent, the last 2 alive. The ultimate used here by Fluorescent for information, but Governor is going to have to be hella clean with taking these kills. And indeed, he's caught before anything can be done. Fluorescent against the entirety of Heretics minus Miniboo. Caught by the ultimate, blocked out by the snake bite. Time is going to keep on ticking. As that spike gets ever closer to an explosion, Fluorescent is forced to swing into a triple stack. High, low setup, and that's it done.
Icebox will be good, but मेरे पास और time नहीं है. So bye. That's it from